but that's far now.
Party, yeah. That's definitely far. We can do a 50K party,
Wait
a
a
25K
minute.
party. Hello, Tomer. Good morning to
Hey,
you. How are you?
great, great. Hey, good morning.
Hey,
Let me
what's up,
just see.
Tomer?
Hi.
We are live already. Let me just see where Mati's at because he's usually a very prompt and punctual person, but it's also 12 a.m. where he's at. So maybe he's fallen asleep. And then we'll start the show in a couple of minutes. Thank you to everyone who's tuning in. We have what's his name, Aiden Ross is listening in, and Elon Musk. So thank you guys for taking time out of your busy day to hear about what is next for the markets after
Oh, I got
yesterday's.
disconnected.
Pardon? Okay, let's
Did you
see
get
what.
disconnected?
No, we connected. Everything's connected.
Oh,
Let me send you guys the links to share around, and then kind of we'll start the show straight away. Mati's online, so he should be joining us soon.
Great.
Uh, we are live on Twitter. We are live on X. This is the link. If I sent the link in the chat on the side, you'll see the link so that you can kind of share.
I don't. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, the comments. Yeah.
The YouTube
Can you
link?
share the one as well? I think that'd be easier.
Yeah.
Easier to shill a Twitter link than a YouTube link, right?
I, the X one is over here. There we go. Broadcast. That's on X. Okay, and we're up and running. There is Mati. Hello, Mati.
Boker Tov.
Boker
Boker
Hey,
Tov.
Tov. Erev Tov to you, sir. Thank you once again for taking sleep out of your eyes and staying up all night to party with the crew and to give us a little bit of emotional support in these times because we need the OGs. We have some OGs in the house to give us guide us through these tough times, and we need that support today more than anything else. Unless you've been living under a rock, maybe you had a few too many beers on Saturday night, and Sunday was just a blur. Yesterday was the biggest single day loss in Japanese stock market since 1987. So I wasn't born in 1987. I don't know how many of the gentlemen here were born in 1987. We won't date anyone here, but that that was so before in our lifetimes we've never seen the Nikkei drop so hard on a Monday, and obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and all the other dog and frog coins that you're holding probably didn't fare so well either yesterday. So in order to make sense of what the hell is happening, what is coming next, we have gathered together two heavyweight giants. It's supposed to be a VC edition, and we'll still speak a lot about VC, about crypto venture investing, and Elon and Tomer have extensive experience in that industry. But more importantly, this is about making sense, ones and zeros. Mati will pull up some charts. Tomer, Elon, myself will all dish out some hopium so that hopefully you can navigate the next couple days, weeks, months before the golden bull, the banana zone, as they want to call it, safely and successfully. So let's take it to Elon first. Tomer, you guys just a brief little quickie intro for those of us who don't know you yet, and then we will start the show.
Yeah, go for it, Tomer.
cool. Yeah, so I'm Tomer, leading Web3 investments at Entree Capital, an Israeli VC. I'm in the space since October 17. I joined when Bitcoin was $4,000. and 3 months before the first major bull run when it jumped to 20K. I'm actually now broadcasting from the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange in front of the Bitcoin Embassy, where it all started many years ago. And I think it's like a good anchor, to remember that everything is okay, like everything is natural, and markets behave as the market's supposed to behave. So yeah, I started at Bits of Gold and then moved to eToro to lead the global crypto business development at the social investing platform. And 2.5 years ago, crossed to the dark side and to invest in Israeli Web3 founders.
Cool.
Thank you.
Good to see you again, Tomer.
Hey.
So my name.
We didn't overlap at eToro, if I'm correct. You
Maybe
came there after
weeks.
me, and then I met you at an event later on.
Yeah, maybe just a few weeks. Yeah.
Chaim.
What, are you drinking whiskey? It's 10 a.m., man.
Yeah. Here.
What is that behind you, Mati?
Shit! I actually thought it's a virtual I thought it's a virtual background.
I also thought it's a background.
It's a nice bottle. It's Jameson triple distilled.
Wait, where are you, Mati?
It looks like Donald Jr.'s liquor cabinet.
This is the bar is actually just next to the movie theater, of course. Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah,
but where are you, like physically?
In California.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right, it makes sense.
Mati 2 weeks ago gave us a live. He was in Nashville, Tennessee for the.
Oh, nice.
It seemed like a lifetime ago, but once upon a time, a U.S. presidential candidate, the leading candidate for president, actually said he wants to make Bitcoin a reserve currency, and then the schizophrenic market, what did it do? It dumped to low in months. So Mati was there at Nashville. So Mati stays up. Just I see a little Israeli flag next to the booze. Well done. Like I could see spot it. Little,
if you only knew how much support my family's been giving. There's one plaque, 2 plaques. There's another 3 over there, just within arm's distance.
There are pictures like with Rabin and stuff in the gallery.
Rabin, no, in Netanyahu.
Might piss off some people, man.
Well, if you're not pissing off people, then what the hell are we doing on this?
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Eylon, you're up, man.
Yeah. My name is Eylon. I am one of the partners at Collider, which is an Israeli crypto venture fund focusing only on crypto, Web3, and all that stuff. We are 4 partners, soon to be 5, and I like to say that we have different theses on the market and how it looks like, and sometimes they're competing, like many times they're actually competing. And I'm kind of on the side that regulation and innovation are 2 ends of the same spectrum, and Web3, crypto, whatever, is inherently like anti-regulation tech, which is like a wonderful thing. So like I started my journey, like I got into crypto actually at the DAO hack in 2016. I lived in China.
That one?
Yeah, I lived in China at the time.
Wait, you got in at the hack, or you got in before the hack?
At the hack. At the hack.
So before the hack, you didn't know about it, and then the hack happened because I was an investor in the DAO, and I got rugged, and then actually I made a lot of money off that rug because I got all my Ethereum back, and then I got Ethereum Classic. I made out like a bandit like 3 years later.
Yeah. So let's just say I used Bitcoin before. I had no idea what it was. And
you used it without knowing what it was.
Yeah, I mean, I used it because I needed to buy something, and I bought it, and and I immediately sent it to whatever.
Fungus?
Sorry?
Fungus or herb?
Neither of those, but yes, the same train track.
Category. So is Coke then?
No, of course not.
No, okay.
So that's how I sort of like got into it. I lived in China at the time. I was working for Iron Source, like sort of like building the Chinese offices there. And then in 2017, I started a group to talk about like crypto Bitcoin, and it became one of the biggest crypto communities in China. Actually, like it became the biggest. and the topography was sort of like a decentralized community of like many groups chats. And then, like, long story short, decided to leave that to start something similar in the West. So started my own startup. The goal was like decentralized community, that type of thing. We raised some money. Fast forward to like end of 2018, we ended up closing. And it was sort of like in the realm of social, kind of, I guess, Farcaster is building around these areas right now. And then, yeah, started working and advising lots of crypto startups since then. I was also very involved with like a bunch of Ethereum events. So helped do like ETH Denver in 2020, ETH Berlin, ETH India, and some of these things. I essentially built like a DAO platform to run hackathons. And then, yeah, COVID came, no more hackathons. And Avishai from Collider called me and he was like, we're looking for something and we're not really sure for what. And I was like, perfect. That's where I shine. And then, yeah, now one of the partners. And yeah, I guess that's mostly it.
Cool.
We're definitely going to talk about what the first thing you said is like, it's not that we have different theses, meme coins and infrastructure and whatever. We have different theses. I believe that regulation and innovation are different sides of the spectrum. But we definitely have to get into that because, I kind of see things in a similar way. And there's a lot of, especially with the ETFs and BlackRock, Larry Fink coming in, putting a suit and tie on this industry. There's a lot of push to kind of co-opt these technologies to make it easier and make life easier for the regulators, as opposed to kind of build out the freedom tech that we wanted to see. So I want to kind of show you guys something, and then I'll ask you a question. So the fear and greed index, the crypto fear and greed index, and we will share here a chart from Eylon New Hedge, right? The New Hedge legendary chart. You see the fear and greed index today is at 17, which is the lowest it's been. It hasn't been this low, the fear and greed index. Even in 2021, the dip is the lowest it's been since around the time of FTX in late 2022. So having seen that, what do you guys think comes next? Are we going to have a quick rebound back into greed and bull posting and celebrity meme coins, or is this the start of a more prolonged lull in the market?
That is the most bullish chart I've seen all day.
Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up again.
I mean, yeah, you got to quote the Oracle of Omaha. Even though he was late to the crypto party, you want to be greedy when others are fearful, and if others are fearful, I'm getting greedy.
Yeah. So I'll say that I genuinely hope the whole meme coin saga is over. Like, it needs something drastic to kill it. I mean, because there were like there were lots of sort
I genuinely
of
hope you say that with such a disdain. Like, I don't think so, but I hope so.
yeah. I mean, I hope so. Yeah. I mean, obviously, like everybody says, speculation is a use case, right? But in previous like hyper speculation cycles, like ICOs, like NFTs, like DeFi Summer, at least there was some underlying tech that was being proposed, and dreams were sold that some technology is going to get built, going to get built. And here it's like,
good morning, Chain Coiner. Thank you for letting us know
Yeah.
that you are alive. And
GM
Trailblaze,
Chain
you
Coiner.
guys are awesome. Thank you very much for all of your support. You guys are
Yeah.
are awesome.
Yeah, so like the point is that right now in meme coins, they're outright telling you that there's nothing behind this, and they will rug you, whether this is like celebrities or Solana influencers or whatnot. And I get it; it brings liquidity to the chain, but the result of this, and there's like many sort of like data to back this up in Twitter right now, is that there's like a very, very small group of people that are either influencers, shillers, select celebrities that are making a lot of money, while 99% of the people lose.
It's a casino. Come on, just say the word casino.
Yeah, I guess it's a casino.
No?
No, I mean,
I've never heard pushback on that one. Everybody kind of admits it at this point.
Yeah, but a casino at least has, I guess, the rules are transparent and you know them. And I feel like here, There's
come
so
on! Who's getting duped over here? Everybody knows it's a casino. There's nobody walking in going, "Yeah, I'm gonna be a millionaire by tomorrow." Be like, "Well, maybe let me put $100 in, and I'll probably lose it, but whatever. Maybe I'll be a millionaire. Who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe I got this one tip from a dog racer across the street who was really, hey AJ, good morning.
GM.
BM, what's a BM?
Bad morning. Why?
Bowel movement? I don't know. Maybe he's on the toilet. Anyways,
So
but but I think that everybody at this point knows that they're gambling. I don't think anybody's like really fooling themselves. I mean, people jump.
My point is that it's not even a casino.
People on the rooftop in Nashville, they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna cheat it, but I'm gonna make a lot of money doing it. Like I'm gonna be the first one to get out. I'm gonna be like the first one in, the first one out." He knows he's not holding it long term. He knows that the odds are stacked against him, and the influencers are the ones making money over here. He knows it. And he's participating, and everybody is that way. I don't think there's anybody who's like really like, "Oh shit, man! I lost all my money on these meme coins because
I've got a question for you, Matti. If I take now, I'm putting now. Trump is 54 to 1, 54% to win on poly market. So I put 54 cents down. I can win $1 if Trump gets elected. If I'm betting money now on Trump, am I
That's easy money
gambling or not? Is that gambling?
Yeah, of course it's gambling. What do you call it? What do you call it? Betting on the outcome that's unknown? That's gambling.
I guess you're right.
Is there another name for it?
I think there's
a skill-based prediction, I think, is the regulatory arbitrage name.
Yeah, I'm not sports betting. I'm skill-based predicting over here.
Exactly.
No, I had a friend about 10 years ago who would do all the soccer. Like he would like actually made a science out of it and spreadsheets and like blah blah blah. And he actually was able to make $5, $10 consistently on a weekly
skill
basis.
based.
Skill based. It was all skill based. He knew the numbers. He knew the players. But he's like, at the end of the day, it's 10. It's just 10 guys walking. Chasing a ball across the field. Anything can happen. But if you had your bets, well enough, there's the guys who come up with the numbers. There's a team of them in a room somewhere. If you're smarter than them, you can cheat them off of very small money.
It's poker, Texas Hold'em. Is that gambling? Because if I get in a room with full Ivy 101 times, right, I'm probably going to lose all my money, right? So there is an element of skill involved as well. The same with sports betting. You got the money ball types that are using the algorithms. You got some people that, they might know that LeBron James is going to be injured, so they have a bit of insider trading. But I think there's an element of sort of skill and trend analysis.
I will argue that specifically poker, I don't think it's just gambling because there's a lot of skill involved. My co-founder was like a professional poker player. Not
guys, let me put this into perspective for you. No matter how much skill is involved, it's still gambling. Poker is a gamble. It's played in a casino, and when you engage in it, you are gambling. Whether you're good at it or not good at it, whether you're a perfect blackjack player or not, you're still gambling. Okay, this is not a question. Next topic, please.
All right.
Yeah, I have to say
I think you're right. My point is just that there's a spectrum to gambling, and I think meme coins just extended that spectrum by letting us sort of gamble on culturally relevant ideas and and sticky memes. And
I just don't think it's even gambling. It's below that. It hasn't even reached the sort of the title of gambling.
But no, there could be a skill to it also if you're able to recognize a trend before it pops off, or if you have inside information about influencers, if you know which influencers to follow, and you see one of them, tweet about something or post something in their paid group or some shit like that. Yes, thank you very much, Shane Coiner. This is betting on probability.
Betting on probability is
there can be a skill to it. I'm
definition of gambling.
It can be
all right. My point, at least.
I don't play it. I don't play that game. Like, honestly, I'm into long-term investing. I have Dog with Hat. I've got Dogecoin. I've got another several meme coins that I'm holding, and I'm holding them for the long term because I don't give a shit. I'm not here to make money. I want to be part of the community. I want to be part of the movement. If I make $1 million, great, but I'm not about to sell it at a 3x or 10x profit. It's not what I'm here for. So is it gambling? Yeah, sure. It's gambling. Do I gamble? Yeah, I've been to Vegas before. So what?
All right. Let's move on. Like it is.
I wanna look. We're gonna move on, but I'll tell you guys. Like, I was writing out questions for everyone, like kind of taking, trying to figure out what to throw everyone. And I was like, okay, let me ask Tomer something. And I was about to write down a question about meme coins, and I'm like, no, Tomer is way too much of a respectable man for me to launch our interview on with meme coins. But I guess the meme coin frenzy is, you can't be ignored. So I want to kind of get Tomer's take on this, and then we'll move on to a post of yours, Eylon, about where we are in the cycle that sort of proved a little bit prophetic over the last days, and I want to kind of get your take on where we go from there.
So first of all, I usually like to separate between the technology and the speculation. So in terms of fear and greed, nothing have changed in terms of the fundamental technology, behind Bitcoin, blockchain, Ethereum, and other innovative products in the ecosystem. Specifically, meme coin is also not a new thing. Might be a new branding for a very old thing that Elon mentioned, which is bootstrapping a community. It doesn't matter if you participate in an ICO, and instead of getting a token, you get a meme coin, and you can also call, all the points, the loyalty points programs and the airdrop programs. You can also call them meme coins. So it's just a name. I can have the most, honorable and sophisticated project, but eventually, no matter what's like the tech behind the product, I can still bootstrap my community with a meme coin, right? So even Coinbase and other, companies that today don't have a token, if they're thinking about a token strategy or a token launch strategy, probably today the most trendy way to do it is to launch a meme coin, and it doesn't necessarily have to be, directly linked to your project. But that's like what I think most of the projects are doing, because behind most of the meme coins, there are, teams that are trying to either monetize on the meme coin or even started the meme coin because they wanted to fund something else.
But I think you said behind most teams or behind most meme coins are teams building, and I think that's absolutely wrong. Like they're I
mean the top meme coins.
Okay, I mean it's a very small subset of it, and I will argue, okay, like a meme coin by definition has no value behind it, but most of the coins that are that's kind of like the colloquial understanding, because okay, one of the narratives was like why meme coins are successful is because, okay, the SEC is not allowing us to give utility to a token. Okay, this token has no utility, and that was kind of the argument of why this is valuable. But at the end of the day, like most
it's
coins,
not only that, Eylon, I think you're correct in that, and I think that's part of it. It's like part of the joke that we're playing on the SEC, sure. But I've literally heard somebody on a Spaces suggest to one of the bigger meme coins, say, hey, we should do X and Y utility here. And they're like, well, if we do that, then investors are going to try and justify our valuation based on the utility. And if we don't have any utility, therefore there's no limit to the amount that we can be worth. Like we could be worth infinity because there's no utility. You can't justify it anyways.
It's the Ross Hanneman pre-revenue.
And that's when I hit the sell button, like bang, sell everything. Like I'm calling BS on the whole system. Yeah, no, but you're correct. Absolutely 100%.
Shiba, for example, Shiba is a meme coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shiba got rugged, by the way. We had the guy who discovered the WazirX hack.
It was Michael Pearl from
yeah, Michael. He was the one who discovered the WazirX hack. All the Indians that were holding Shiba, apparently they got rugged. But I think Floki is the prime example, right? Floki suddenly, worth several $1 billion in market cap, and then the founders are like, hey, wait a second, we should probably do something worthwhile with this money. Like let's end world hunger or some shit like that. Let's build hospitals in Africa. I have no idea, but like, but these are cases where like the utility came after the coin went big. Even Dogecoin now has Doginal dogs, Doginal marketplace built on top of Doge because Elon said, hey, wait a second, we should, continue the development. And even though there are people who said, "Hey, wait a second, that'll give us utility." Oh my gosh, God forbid. Still, there was enough developers who were able to say, "Well, it's a decentralized protocol. I'm going to do it anyways," unless they just got it done.
There's an ultimate question here: is Bitcoin a meme coin?
No.
Why?
Because it's not. It doesn't. It's not. It's not. That's why.
That's kind of self-referential.
Because what meme is Bitcoin? What meme? What's the meme? There's no meme behind
Orange
it.
coin, 21 million.
No, it's not called
That's not
orange
fundamental
coin. Somebody
value.
might call it orange coin. I mean, is Tesla a meme stock? I mean, no, it's not. It's a stock that, you know.
I mean,
I think the memetics of all these assets have added like a.
That's a new word.
It's a very old word. Memetics.
We're about 1 second from money's a meme kind of a deep 12 a.m.
Is $1
a meme? What is a meme? A meme, as Richard Dawkins defined it, is a meme is to culture what a virus is to biology. So it's something that kind of spreads in nature, captures a host body, and then the host becomes a spreader to propagate that idea forward. So if you're taking the strict definition of a meme, then Bitcoin is definitely a meme coin, because the adoption of Bitcoin depends on me getting orange pilled. Oh my God, I love Satoshi, writing a book, and then orange pilling my friends and family, and then that expands outward. But I think in the definition of meme coins, what the meme, as Matti mentioned earlier, like meme coins are by definition something that doesn't have utility. The second it has utility, and you know, there are a lot of utility plays that are, you know, playing on that meme culture. Someone like Monad socials, if you see them, they very memey. You know, the intern, Pendle intern, like all these interns from all these
Polymarket
real
intern,
projects. Yeah, they're all very real, and they're all, you know, pushing projects with real utility. So the meme coin, you know, whether you like it or not, it had that whole movement that has a massive influence on the rest of the market. And I want to kind of take a conversation away from memes and towards, you know, what our two guests do best, and that's VC investing. You know, one of the meme coin, one of the like ideas and, you know, narratives and kind of catalysts for meme coins is the low float, high FDV hate, right? So a lot of projects, what they're doing now, they're launched with a very short supply liquid. So it looks like their market cap is a lot lower than it is. And then there's a lot of locked, you know, unvested VC coins, insider coins, or whatever. And, you know, as those unlocks add more supply, the market cap of the coin grows. And the low float high FDV, just to give one example of a project that launched recently with low float high FDV, and it's kind of you know, you would expect to see the price after a launch of a coin go up, but look at, you know, Starknet. Obviously, they launched at $2.70. Whoever got the airdrop at that price, it's down.
Is that like today?
Significantly.
Am I reading this chart correctly? Is that like today? Or
that's not a daily. That's from March. Okay. Starknet, February. Sorry. So that's like 5 months. So in February, Starknet did an airdrop. They got liquid. The price went, you know, and Starknet obviously got great technology, very leading, and they still have a very high market cap and an even higher FDV, almost $4 billion FDV. But to think that they launched with such a much higher FDV, right, and the price carries on dropping. So I want to ask our VC experts here on the panel, like, what do you guys make of this sort of meme coins, the antithesis to meme coins, which is like people are investing in meme coins because the opportunity for getting a project and making a good return on a $4, $5, $6 billion FDV project that launches on Binance after an airdrop, after a VC private round, after an IDO, the opportunity to make a return over there isn't so great. So what do you guys say to that?
So I would
go for it, Tomer.
So I think that those are two different.
And before you answer, sorry, anybody who's having a drink with me or anybody who's human, just let us know in the comments, because
it's 11 o'clock. All our audience is 10:30, bro. We're gonna have what they're having, margaritas.
But you can have a coffee. I don't know. After this market day, I need a fucking drink. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, if there's ever a time for day drinking, it's when
I
you've got
counted 3
20
humans so
uranium
far who are
missiles.
watching. We need at least one more human to be balancing the panel so that we're not, the bots that are watching great, but the humans, they're the ones who matter to me. Yeah, coffee is fine, Chain Coiner. You're good.
So I think that those are two different cases. If you're a retail investor that invests in meme coins, then as we said in the earlier discussion, it's gambling. It's not a thematic investment. If you look at Starknet, it looks like a chart of an IPO. Okay, IPO of Starkware, if they have done an IPO, and it's a very natural chart for any hyped project at the first year, that you will see, different lows and highs. And the question, if you're a thematic investor, you need to ask yourself if for the long term you believe in, Starkware ZK technology. I don't think that it really matters that it dropped, dozens of percents since the launch. And anyway, I think, another interesting question, you can also compare Starkware latest valuation and Starknet FDV. So the last valuation was I think 6 billion, and then maybe they had a secondary on 3 billion. So if their last round, which was a secondary, I think, I'm not sure if it's public or not, but I think they had a secondary below 6 billion for Starkware, I mean, the DevCo, and now Starknet is on 3.54 billion FDV, then it makes sense. I think that it's a good benchmark for the token, for the project FDV.
Wow,
So
$8 billion, the last Starkware valuation they raised around. I'm going to share it right now. So let's.
So I'm going to take a different approach. Yeah, like as you're pulling this up, I'm going to take a different approach, and I'll say like the root of this is that there are big funds like A16Z and Paradigm and Pantera that have raised $3 billion. I think Paradigm is like 1.5 and Recent was like 3 billion, maybe. I think something along these lines. And these guys have to deploy. And their only way to deploy is to dramatically increase the valuations and dramatically increase the money that they're putting in. And that was sort of what happened the past 2 years, specifically with these 3 funds. I mean, I know this from like first, like let's just say they've been talking to some of our portfolio companies, and they do that. They will tell you, we're going to double the valuation, we're going to put more money. And in some cases, it can work. But by pushing the valuations higher, you're not allowing the community to get in at a fair price, or like a price that they can, quote unquote, I like to say, crypto is about communities getting rich together. And you're pricing out people from that. And that's kind of the reason I think Starkware went, the valuation went so high. And, if they would have launched at a $1 billion valuation, maybe, the community would have been able to get in, and there was like more upside to be have even after it goes public. So I think that's kind of like the root cause. And there are like many different intricacies inside this. But I think, let's say Paradigm corrected, and the recent fund they just raised is like way, way smaller, back to sort of the early stage stuff. So yeah.
That's a very interesting take. You're saying that you've got the. It's funny because the like the men on the street, the anonymous cartoon meme traders, they're saying the VCs are inflating the price, and the VCs are saying no, the bigger VCs are inflating the price. And essentially,
Exactly.
the idea is that they're trying to get I wouldn't call them maybe inflated valuations so that they can have a place to park their capital. They have to deploy that capital.
It's not an inflated valuation. No, so
$8 billion for a network that hasn't even launched, like pre mainnet, is pretty wild valuation. I mean, I remember the EOS ICO back in the day. I was involved in that ecosystem, and when they raised so much money, it kind of took away the incentive for them. They raised $4 billion. So I wonder what valuation that would have been like. If they raised $4 billion, the valuation must have been in the sky in 2017. And Bitcoin was only 5K back then. So they obviously took a lot of that money, bought a lot of Bitcoin, and now you don't really have an incentive to build. So it's kind of
By the way,
Well,
these three
Elon's not a
funds.
scam.
Yeah, but I would just say these three funds, they each took like a different strategy, right? A16Z, like what is the problem? The problem is that there aren't enough companies to deploy enough capital for. So A16Z, they started an accelerator. They have 2 batches a year, and this is obviously everything that what's his name? The leading of what's his name? The guy who's leading.
Andreessen, Mark Andreessen.
No, the crypto guy. Oh, wow, how? The guy who wrote the Web3 book. Anyway, he has like he has extensive writings
The guy
about like
who wrote the book.
yeah.
Good.
I'll come to it in a second, but he has extensive writing about like why accelerators don't work, and obviously all of that was scraped from the internet before they launched the accelerator, right? Pantera is now doing a lot of AI, like, and they
By
even
the way,
announced.
accelerators work. I want to say not that they work necessarily in what you expect them to, but I do recommend every new
Yeah.
project to go
Chris
through at
Dixon.
least one accelerator.
Chris Dixon, thank you.
You're wasting
Thank
your
you,
time.
JL Crypto. Yeah, sorry. So Pantera, they pivoted to AI, or they're doing like a lot more AI, and their rationale for this is
Good
everyone
morning,
is going to
JL
have
Crypto
AI
and
anyway.
Val. So that's five humans watching and 4 panelists. We're doing good, Dudu. We're doing something right.
Hey, you forgot about the 300 bots.
No,
And there's a bunch of people on Twitter as well. I sent the Twitter link.
Trailblazer for bringing all the bots.
The bots identify as humans, so we're not going to misgender them. So we have a lot of people here.
Miss Species. I don't know about misgender.
It's coming. You think it's not coming, but it's coming. I identify as a algo fluid LLM with the consciousness in the cloud.
And then they'll allow them in the boxing ring with all of the humans, and then the humans are done for, right? That's going to happen.
Yeah, I identify as outsized returns.
Yeah, there we go. No, I think the whole thing is. I think the whole thing is a scam. Anyways, like why do they have women's sports and men's sports? Isn't that like completely sexist? Like just if a woman wants to step in the ring, with the men, like let them get beat up or something. It's just it doesn't make any.
Because what you just said, the videos are going to be removed from YouTube.
Fuck it. If that's the worst thing that I've said today, then we'll have to let it pass. In any case, I think that Tomer was right. I remember the Facebook IPO. By the way, Facebook got really excited. They said, "Hey, we could justify this huge valuations because all the plebes are gonna buy in. They want to buy it on the first day," and the stock went down for like 3 months. Solid, because the IPO day, is way overinflated according to what the real price should have been. But they had enough plebs to get in and justify that valuation at least for a day or two.
Yeah.
So
I will say that
if you guys are watching, like, don't worry about it. Like, good on you that you were able to sell a lot of tokens at those inflated prices. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the long-term trend is going to be downward. As long as you keep building on your technology, you're gonna be just fine.
Yeah. So I will say that the difference to like traditional markets and crypto markets is that you go public way earlier, like before the product is fully ready, and that's fine. I think the traditional markets have like what's happening right now is that they go public way late than they used to. But many times crypto companies go public without product market fit, and I'm also saying that this is
that the only thing they're missing?
We said meme coins, right? So they go public
without a technology or without a team. I don't know.
with a website,
without a white paper. Why not?
Yeah. So I mean, it's a problem. It's difficult, I guess, for the public markets to even value these things because you don't know how useful this will be or whatnot. So yeah, that's kind of like on that regard. I don't know if you guys want to add stuff.
Okay, so
next topic.
Next topic is Elon's tweet. Elon had a bit of I dare say, prophetic insight, right? Where you said that we're more like August 2019. Obviously, 2019 was August 2019. We were still recovering from the bear market. We weren't nearly in the bull market. We were in a run up towards the bull market. and that's what when everyone else was calling May was just after the halving, bull vibes in the air, and Elon tweeting that we still have a bottom to revisit. So I want to get you on this tweet and kind of ask you, what is the bottom? Where are we, in relation to that right now? And do you think that we have a lot more
But
consolidation?
before you answer that, you got to say the 3 words, right?
What are the 3 words?
Obviously, I'll
called it.
let Elon
I
say the
called
word.
it.
I'm sure he said not financial advice or
No. That's more important here.
What you guys don't know is that I had another tweet that said the exact opposite, and I deleted it.
There you go.
No.
Bravo.
Yeah. So I will say, I'm not a trader. Every time I try to trade, I tried to call bottoms or stuff like that, I ended up losing money. And I think inherently my outlook is like very forward looking, like sort of like 5 years and stuff like that. And so I don't like call bottoms or stuff like that. I have no clue. Like, I don't care. I look at this at a 5-year outlook, and I think it's going to be, up and to the right. That being said, the reason I said this is because I haven't. So in 2019, so I did, like I said, I was a contributor to all the major ETH conferences, ETH Berlin, ETH Denver, ETH India, ETH Waterloo, and that type of stuff. And there, it was gloomy. Man, it was like the worst. Like, you're talking to people and like, yeah, it's just a circle jerk. We're 5 people building companies. We're just using each other's products. And everybody was like, okay, this might not actually succeed. There was actual like thinking like that. And right now there is none. Everybody's still euphoric. That entire sort of time came, like, I don't know, prices are going up, but there is no like new real narrative. There is nothing new use cases that exist. And yeah, so that's kind of like what was my thinking. And then, crypto runs in cycles. And I like to say, like, I'm very good friends with John Paller, like the founder of ETH Denver. And I tell him, like, bull market can only be initiated in ETH Denver. That's kind of like my take. He's like, fuck yes, of course. Yeah, why not? But we needed more pain. We needed more clearing of sort of like the people who are here just to make a quick buck, I guess. And like, that's my point, is that maybe this crash is going to clear off the meme coins, and maybe something will be remained of this, some sort of value. But yeah, like, there needs to be max pain. And I'm honestly, I'm not sure we felt max pain. Like, people are still bullish, which is odd. Like, I think we need to go down lower.
So I usually analyze
that Dudu brought up the tweet, because otherwise I wouldn't have recognized you. Only once I saw your profile picture, then I was like, oh, that guy. Okay, cool.
So I usually analyze on the macro level the crypto ecosystem according to 3 things. So first, I would say, is the Bitcoin halving, the 4-year cycle. Second will be the institutional, the federal rate, the interest rates, and third would be the institutionalization and regulation of the crypto ecosystem. Things like the Bitcoin ETF, for example, or MiCA regulation in Europe, like the big market movers in institutionalization and regulation. And I think that we've seen we are after the halving, and we are seeing interesting things within the Bitcoin ETF and the Ethereum ETF and MiCA that is going to get in place in the next year. And I would also add, election in the US. And then the last piece in the puzzle that is missing is the rates, and it's uncorrelated with anything that we're going to do and build within the crypto ecosystem. Okay, so I believe that no matter what builders will build and meme lords will meme, eventually there are bigger things that are happening on the macro level. Even whether it's like Ukraine, Russia, Middle East, Taiwan, those kind of things, I personally believe that Taiwan is going to be the next big, thing that will drive the interest rates downwards.
There's ETH Taipei every year, and then I always say like, it's why is this still in Taiwan? Like, when is this going to be ETH China?
Yeah. So once,
I think the interesting thing is that I think you're right. By the way, the Fed plays a much bigger role than most crypto people will care to admit. But the funny thing is that so far Fed cycles have lined up uncannily with the Bitcoin halving cycles, which is so weird that like.
But wait, because I think there's an underlying reason for that. And it's the presidential elections. When a new U.S. president comes into office, or just when the term is extended, they have 4 more years, have 4 years of doing whatever the fuck they want to do, and so they start so many different programs, or these type of things, and it starts printing.
Do you think Satoshi timed the Genesis block with
100%?
Cycle 100.
It's the election cycle.
This I've never heard before. So go on.
No, but it is the election. Think of this: when a U.S. president enters office, now they have 4 years. They have all these plans. They're starting to execute on all these things. They're starting to fucking spread money everywhere, and they're appointing new people. Everything is being done at that moment, and that's why it coincides with it. And I think that's actually the driver to all the bull runs, not necessarily the halving itself.
And we thought Bitcoin didn't pay attention to politics. It was literally timed,
structured by politics.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Everything is politics.
I wanna kind of move on to a very important VC stat, and obviously we can tie it into a thing. But let's talk. Tal Shmuel Harel has an interesting question. Obviously, we all hear from the Holy Land, the startup nation. And what is the current situation in Israel with, maybe take us through your thinking about operating as a VC here, operating as a startup founder here in the Web3 space, both from the macro level and the micro, the regulation and the, how easy it is to get bank license. Where are we standing with making Israel a more friendly environment for Web3 startups to flourish?
Yeah, you want to start, Tomer?
Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah. So big picture, I would say business as usual. In terms of foreign investors, LPs, interest in Israeli projects, I don't think that the war changed anything. The only challenge that Israeli founders had was to draft to reserve duty, that kind of paused most of the operations if you need to do other things and defend the country. Other than that, I don't think that on the macro level, especially not from foreign Web3 VCs or anything like that, I haven't seen in the past 10 months, I haven't seen any direct statement saying that they're not going to invest in Israeli founders or Israeli projects.
Yeah, I agree. And just to add to that, those who are going to say something like that wouldn't have invested even before. And I think there are a few who are anti whatever, but they wouldn't have invested even before. So they were anti-Semitic before October 7th, basically.
Yeah.
And there are several.
Yeah. And
anti-Semites? No. In this world? You think so?
And we know the numbers, so I think they're pretty amazing. In the past 2-3 years, we have more than 100 Israeli Web3 VC-backed startups that are alive and kicking, and more than $4.5 billion of total funds raised for the Israeli Web3 ecosystem. As usual, per capita, I think that no one I encourage Crunchbase and Dealroom to do a research about it. But I think that if you need to compare per capita metrics of either Israeli Web3 ecosystem, to the ecosystem in Berlin or Paris or London or Singapore, I think that we win across all metrics.
Cheers. And
Cheers
here's
to
a
that. That
sentence
is bullish.
that we'd like to say in crypto all the time: is the haters don't matter. So fuck
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, and so I mean, to echo some of the things Tomer said, like Israel will become, and this is my opinion, Israel will become the third biggest hub after San Francisco and New York. It's inevitable. We have all the right sort of like prerequisites for that. We have rich cryptography history. We have like a wonderful sort of like intelligence units that breed exceptional founders. We have some of the best technical universities, and we have a very, very good culture of early stage startups. All of that combined will make Israel, one of the biggest hubs. Like this is my personal, one of my personal goals, and yeah, I don't think the war like really affects that or hinders that in any way or sort. So yeah, that's kind of on that side. On the side of like regulation in Israel, I would say that there's the Israeli forum for Israeli company forum that we are members in, and I think Tomer as well, and a few other leading. What?
We need to join it.
Yeah. Oh, so join it. Like it's not my forte. It's not my interest. I fucking hate regulators, but some of my other partners are like, in it. They go to the Knesset. They're trying to help pass like legislation and stuff like that. I think it's crucial and it's important, especially for people who are launching tokens. At the least, launching tokens should be just like launching equities for tax purposes. But at the end of the day, I think like there won't be any like meaningful regulation happening here until the US figures out its shit, and hopefully, I'm going to get political, hopefully it will be Trump who's going to appoint we have an LP that is close to sort of Jared Kushner. So like one of the finalists to be the head of the SEC if Gary Gensler is removed is Chris Giancarlo, which is the crypto dad.
Crypto daddy, yep.
Yeah, a few years in Congress, he was like, I have 3 sons. I try to get them to trade stocks. They don't care about stocks. They only care about crypto. And he's like, we owe it to them to create the ability to experiment and work. So until that doesn't change in the US,
head of the CFTC, I remember very well.
Exactly. So until that doesn't change in the US, it will not change in Israel. Like the regulators here they're not gonna come and think forward about things. And how to sort of like regulate them.
I'm in touch with Ernst & Young as well, and they feel like now is our time, which maybe you probably have a different perspective. Maybe they're just trying to sell me on their service or something like that. But
you got to talk. I don't do these type of things. Like I'm just like echoing the words of my other partners because I don't do regulation. I don't do I despise it. Like I come to crypto from like the libertarian side of things. No,
I'm all up in that. But I do believe that what happened in Israel is Bibi fucked us over, right? He's like, I don't know if you remember that he was in this back room where somebody was filming and he was in the, whatever, he was talking to a bunch of press people and somebody asked him about Bitcoin. And he's like, well,
it's going to replace banks or something.
Yeah, he said blockchain is going to replace the banks. And the next day, all of the banks put a freaking lock on all of our deposits and withdrawals from Binance, like the very next day. So, but the government is quite open to it, but the banks are not, and that is where we're at as far as
So
if you go ahead.
Yeah, I'm now sitting in the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange. They've done a pilot with Fireblocks about tokenizing bonds and working on different crypto projects. And I used to work at Bits of Gold, which is like one of the first financially regulated crypto brokers in Israel. So there is like the regulation that is regarding the local ecosystem, how Israeli as retail investors can buy and sell crypto and invest in Web3 projects, and how can we use stable coins or CBDCs or whatever. Like this is one thing, but it doesn't really affect Israeli founders that are building Web3 infrastructure. It's not that different from the cybersecurity industry, right? Most of it is being exported around the world. It's not like that Israelis are like the number one customer for the Israeli cyber ecosystem.
eToro doesn't serve Israelis. It's a gigantic financial company.
Yeah, they do, but they don't do it well. I was an account manager for several Israelis while I was at eToro. I promise you, it was not a fun experience. But Cora Finance. Cora Finance is incorporated in Israel. and we will be registered as a preferred technology entity, which is actually eligible for a 7.5% corporate tax rate, which is freaking unheard of. And as far as the Israeli government is concerned, innovating in technology is encouraged, and that's what we plan on doing. And the fact is that we can do it largely without banks, or maybe use the banks just to make sure that the tax man's happy. But I want to get to that situation where the tax man's like, "Hey, where's my money?" I'm like, "Well, the bank's not letting me transfer it to you, so maybe you could help us out with that." see where that conversation goes.
But that's not the only problem in Israel. Like in Israel, like launching a token is like selling a product in a way. It's not like you're giving out equity like in ESOPs or that type of stuff. So when you launch a token, you have to pay like VAT on that entire thing. And that's a huge problem. Like the fact that tokens are not
SPV, you can't launch the token in Israel. That's silly.
Yeah. So what you do right now is like you sell the IP to like a foundation somewhere else, and then you pay tax on that. But all of these are
you can't launch a token in Israel. That'd be silly.
Yeah. So all of that is like a very, very weird shenanigans that harm the ability of crypto startups to innovate and build stuff. And especially like launch tokens. I believe that tokens are sort of like the next evolution of ownership, right? Of securities. It's just way better than current securities. And yeah, like you cannot really do that in Israel right now. There has to be all these fucking like loopholes and going around things and paying lawyers a bajillion amount of dollars just to execute on something like that. And that's
you only need to pay the lawyers a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, you should be good. Honestly.
No, but you as a founder, you go and you speak to a lawyer, and he tells you. I always say that at the bottom of Maslow's pyramid for founders, it's to stay out of jail. And so if a founder goes to a lawyer and the lawyer was telling him, they're gonna send you to jail, the SEC is gonna come after you, then obviously the founder is gonna be scared.
You gotta know how lawyers operate. Honestly, after a few companies, you kind of get to know the shenanigans and how to work around them.
Yeah. So yeah, my point is that that's a big problem if you really want to have like many crypto startups in Israel, especially launching tokens.
Yeah, but it's also a global problem today, right? Like any way anyone in the world will launch a token from Cayman Islands.
So I think Dubai has like a lot of favorable regulations, and Singapore as well. Hong Kong, I think, is doing something, and so like it's all moving eastward, in a way. But yeah, I think the US is kind of fucked.
And I'm advising a project who's going after a Swiss token launch, which if you have a badge from the Swiss regulators, you're like totally unfucked.
Yeah, but
imagine like the United States going, "Where's your regulation?" You're like,
but
pay 10x.
It's not it's not only that you pay tax. We have a portfolio company that is in Switzerland. They're actually in Switzerland, and they say like it was wise from like a sort of like regulatory outlook. But I get letters every single day to report on something. Like the amount of regulations that they get, the amount of hassle
in Switzerland is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a double-edged sword, specifically Switzerland. I think Dubai.
I think Dubai is
incredible.
Yeah,
is incredible in that regard. And thank God for Trump that we can go to Dubai and maybe we can move there and launch tokens.
100%.
So yeah.
I think it all comes down in Israel. It all comes down to what the US does. I think even in other areas like pharma, for example, like Israel doesn't really have its own type of FDA, or it does, but it's always looking to the American FDA to see what it's approving. Same thing with the regulation around crypto, and we need like we have 2 more minutes, and I think the biggest hopium that we can dish out is go look at poly market odds of Trump winning, because if Trump comes into the picture, I think the Rubicon will be crossed. So we'll start with Bitcoin as a strategic reserve, or we'll move on to, Gary Gensler we'll start with Gary Gensler getting put onto unemployment, or we'll move to the strategic reserve, and then it will eventually evolve into more pro-crypto voices in key positions, dictating policy, changing policy, and the ripple effects will be felt sort of globally elsewhere. So
Inshallah.
Inshallah. we have a few more minutes left. Thank you everyone for watching, for asking questions, for tuning in. We're at the end of our show. We have minutes for a little final comments.
I counted 7 humans, by the way. 7 humans to 4 panelists, I think, is our greatest ever ratio
That's
here.
ATH.
So
We're hitting ATH here.
thank you very much
next-
for all of the humans who can comment and let us know that you're alive and watching. That's really super appreciated. And thank you for Eylon and Tomer. Really great guys. Everybody, please give them a like and a follow. I personally know these two for quite a while on social media, and they're tearing it up. So great stuff. Dudu, thanks for bringing these awesome guests and for organizing this whole thing. I really appreciate it. And it's 1 a.m. here, so have a good night.
It's good
Thank
night.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Any final word, Eylon, Tomer, anything to get people through this little dip with confidence?
It's going up and to the right. I mean, there's like no question about it. Like, don't worry. Hold on to dear life. It's going to be fine. Find projects that you think are building interesting things and buy those tokens, or become of that community. Not leave meme coins alone. Like, leave it.
Yep. I guess, app only is the only option.
Thank you. Let's go and stream.